Now it's time for today's perspective. And as the world prepares to mark the 4th anniversary tomorrow of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, there is little doubt that the world of geopolitics and where Europe stands within it has been nothing short of totally upended over the last few years. It began perhaps in Donald Trump's first term as he threatened to withdraw from NATO, but his second term has gone much further with a series of divisions between European nations and the US over a series of issues from Ukraine to trade, even to culture. Well, all European nations, of course, at the heart of those changes, not least Sweden. And since last year, Sweden's ambassador to France is Caroline Vicini. She joins me now here on set. Thanks very much for coming in and talking to us on the programme. I mean, there's little doubt, isn't there, that over the past few months, over the last few years, world politics has been really upended.
Yes, that's very true. And we are very happy to be members of NATO. I think that has been it was a big step for Sweden. You know, we had been a non-aligned country for so many years. And the Russian full-scale invasion of an attack on Ukraine really moved us and made us realize that we needed to get into the alliance. And we did that together with Finland. And now we feel that we are defending Europe, helping Ukraine together with our allies.
I mean, do you think Sweden was kind of forced to make that move? Because as you say, it was such a big move to upend, if you like, years and years of neutrality for Sweden.
Yeah, it was a big step, and in one way, in another way, we were very well prepared because we had been in PFP and another, linked to NATO, so we had prepared quite well during many years, and we had participated in Afghanistan and in Kosovo and in Bosnia-Herzegovina and other places. So, but it was a big mental step and a big political step, and for certain parties in Sweden, it was really a change of identity. But that is the reality. We are also very well aware, since so many years, of Russia and what Russia means and what Russia can do. So I think that it became almost natural in the end.
There's been other support, hasn't there? Ukraine recently agreed $100 million to the US support package coming from Sweden. Why was that important, do you think?
What we try to do, for us, Ukraine is our absolute highest foreign policy priority at this moment. And what we do is, there are two things. We support Ukraine and we try to pressure Russia. And Ukraine can defend itself. It has a very strong army now, probably the most battle-experienced army in the whole of NATO. But they need material, they need money. And we try to do that in different ways. And to participate in Pearl, which is the acquisition of American material, is one way. But we also do direct donations of our own material and on future projects also in defense industry, etc., to Ukraine.
How does this come to an end, though? I mean, tomorrow we're marking 4 years. There's a real fear, isn't there, that this could just become a grinding, constant war that just never ends.
That is, of course, a risk, and the problem is here that we don't see any trace of Russian will of committing to a peace agreement. Russia just sits back. And as somebody said, we are discussing between ourselves, so we're discussing with the US and with Ukraine, while Russia is just sitting back and seeing this pass. And I think that is our biggest concern, is that Russia is not ready to commit. And Ukraine has a strategy where they want Russia to get so high losses that they are forced to come to the table in a sincere way. And we think also it's very important with the sanctions. There is a 20th sanction package, from the EU that is prepared. And we sincerely hope that everyone will understand how important this is to continue to pressure Russia, because they don't have an infinite amount of money either.
Yeah, it was hope, wasn't it, that would be agreed today, those sanctions. There's a lot of criticism just coming in, actually. I've just been reading some of it from a lot of nations, really sounding out Hungary for putting that opposition in there and blocking it.
Yes, Hungary has been, a difficult partner in this for reasons that I think we all know. And now they are particularly upset because there is this oil pipeline that has been damaged, and they claim that Ukraine has not repaired it fast enough. So they use this as an argument. I hope they will change their mind.
What can Sweden and France together, working together, do you think, to try and advance all those causes that you've mentioned?
We have an incredibly close relationship, particularly on the defense side. I came here in August, and I was honestly very surprised when I discovered how intense the cooperation really is. We find, and we are extremely grateful for President Macron's leadership. For example, his mounting of the coalition of the willing, where we immediately came in and we have been very much engaged, but also that he has this political leadership role that he's taking, which is very important. And also the whole political landscape, we are very comforted by the fact that if you go to the National Assembly, you see there is a support for Ukraine. France has maybe had another type of relation with Russia before, and I think France has come to the insight that it's not the Russia that you used to admire and feel very much linked up to. It's another Russia we see today, and France is taking that head on.
Of course, that's not your only role, just Ukraine, all sorts of other issues which I'm sure you're battling against. I mean, what else is your priorities at the moment? Is it about the environment? Is it about technology? Is it about artificial intelligence?
Oh, you mentioned a whole number of issues that we are dealing with. We have a strategic partnership with France where we work on different issues. We work on nuclear. We work on strategic minerals. We work on forestry. We work on different issues together. I think today, and something that concerns us both, and we are approaching it maybe a little bit from two different sides, is the competition, the European possibility to compete in this new setting, how we are going to help our industry, how we are going to improve the internal market, which is absolutely necessary, to help our industry and our economy to grow stronger. Because this effort we need to do towards Ukraine and defending ourselves is also costing a lot of money. So there we maybe have different approaches, but we have the same end goal, that's for sure. That's a strong and competitive Europe.
And trade, of course, vitally important. I mean, you think of Sweden, of course, people inevitably think of companies like Volvo, like IKEA, who obviously brings such a lot to the economy of Europe. But keeping those borders open and having those, we've been talking with our business editor just a moment ago about the latest trade tariffs from the US, that causing enormous problems. Yeah,
for us, half our BNP is export. So for us, it's extremely important that we can continue to, because also our industry needs imports. So we are very wary of too much of obstacles to trade, and we want to try to find the American market is also extremely important to us, but we try to find other partners. That's why we are very positive to Mercosur, for example, which will open the markets in South America to our companies and to the European companies. And we are very much encouraging the Commission to go for the new free trade agreements with other partners who actually line up to do it with us. So we have to diversify. We have to compensate for this very uncertain market that we now see in the US, which is, as we have seen the last days, it's changing again. And to us, it's important that we then find other partners. We don't believe in protecting too much the European industry. It's very important that we remain competitive, because protectionism is really something that makes you less competitive, unfortunately.
just time to ask you one last quick question. It's not just about all those serious issues. It's also about arts. It's about culture. It's about, the French relationship with Sweden and Sweden's relationship with France.
Yes, and we see a lot of interest in both directions. Swedes have always loved France for its food, for its wine, for its beautiful landscapes, for the French Riviera, the French mountains. I just come from some skiing in the French Alps. But also the French have discovered Sweden more and more. And we saw 30% more guest nights from France last year in Sweden. And particularly the north of Sweden seems to fascinate the French audience, the French travelers. And so we see a lot of exchange there. And then there is so many things happening also on cultural level. We will see some big exhibitions coming up here in Paris of Swedish artists, etc. So it's a very vibrant and also really going down to the level of cities and regions, etc. Sport.
It goes on. The list goes on.
Yeah.
Good to have you with us on the programme today.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much for coming in and talking to us there. Sweden's ambassador to France. Thank you very much.
Thank you.